Welcome to episode 41 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Chris, are you excited for the return of the XFL?
No, not in the least.
I have a theory about the XFL. You ready?
Go for it. I'd love to hear it.
Vince and Linda have a thing in their relationship that they're allowed to blow $100 million on vanity projects. Linda blew hers on running for Senate twice and getting her ass handed to her by two different people. Mm-hmm. Vince is going to blow his $100 million vanity project and bring back a failed football league 16 years after it went under.
How much?
That's my theory. That they each have a no questions asked. The other partner can't say anything. Here's a free check to blow $100 million because there's no other logical explanation for this.
How much did he waste the first time though? That's
75, and NBC was out 75. One of their shows was the lowest rated primetime show in the history of the Nielsen's for the big three networks. It was like a 1.6, and this was back when people watched TV, not like now where everyone's cutting the cord.
Yeah, seriously.
A 1.6 on a Saturday night on NBC, not NBC Sports, regular good old Peacock NBC. The one that you get with your antenna.
That's insane.
You don't remember that? I was around.
I remember
bad.
That. It
was bad.
We didn't have cable TV in my house until I was 14 years old. I know the antenna.
Oh, it was real. Steven Turr as the commissioner,
having 5 channels. I remember those days.
I mean, it was. Everybody watched the first week because it was the new thing, and it was like March or February, and WWE was hot. Which newsflash, they're not now.
Yeah.
Breaking news: they were hot as hell. They were popping 8s in quarter hours on Raw. They had just beaten Nitro. Vince was king of the mountain. Vince could do no wrong, and he was popping huge ratings. So NBC gave him a blank check. That's not happening now. Yeah, the first week everybody watched. The second week less people watched, and then, as I like to say, the wheels fell off the wagon week 3. And it was popping 1.5s by the end. Because people don't want to watch bad football. You know how I know? Nobody watches the Thursday night games when the player in the NFL, when the players are all beat to shit.
Yeah. There's a reason why the Arena Football League and the Canadian Football League don't have TV deals.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to watch them.
No, nobody wants to watch bad football.
Yeah.
Especially considering like, in the NFL, there's 32 teams and like 7 good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So breaking news, the quarterback position kind of matters in football. Mm-hmm. And when you're like talking yourself into like Alex Smith and Blake Bortles, Alex Smith and Blake Bortles are quarterbacking playoff teams. They're not good.
Yeah.
Like Nick Foles is getting a 1 seed. Sorry, low blow. I know.
No.
Sorry.
Hey.
But like,
let's be fair here. Nick Foles wouldn't be getting a 1 seed if not for a fucking torn ACL.
But that's the dearth of quarterback talent. And Vince is going to bring all this back because something. So, I don't know.
Because the senility has really started to set in hard.
He's losing his mind.
Yep.
He's losing his fucking mind, man.
And let's be clear. I don't mean to make light of, degenerative brain illnesses, of course, but for the love of God, Vince, I mean, this is just the latest in a series of fucking terrible decisions.
It's been 5 years of shitty decisions. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's been 5 years of decisions that don't make sense, yet because USA is so desperate for programming, it still works out.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say shitty decisions. The network is awesome. As much as I hate the current WWE, the network is the best $10 I spent all month.
Yeah.
Because I'll jump at an old pay-per-view I'll watch the 2003 Royal Rumble match. Why the hell not? Oh, look, Brock Lesnar's killing guys. I'm now happy. I'll watch.
The only reason why that's the best $10 a month is because you don't subscribe to New Japan World.
That's true. I use your subscription.
You use mine.
You use my Observer subscription, and I use your New Japan World subscription. Yep. So, but the network's awesome. Who doesn't like? So props to Vince. Thank you, Vince, for bringing this to the network. The network is great. Now, exit stage left and go play with your little second-rate football league. But you know what? We're not here to talk about football. We'll talk about the XFL down the line if it ever gets that way.
We'll talk about the XFL when it blows up in everybody's face.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be awesome.
in shambles saying, "But I thought it was a sure thing."
Yeah, no, it's
People
not.
love things that have X in the name.
Yeah, like that Vin Diesel movie Triple X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or God, or Degeneration X, or X Pac. If we're gonna go a little closer to home.
Yeah. I have a theory about Triple H, which we'll talk about. By the way, speaking of Degeneration X, we're gonna be spraying all fields, guys, because Chris didn't do his homework and didn't watch Ring of Honor, and I didn't watch Ring of Honor because I had anything else to do on last Friday night.
Yeah.
And only one of us watched the pay-per-view, so
yeah.
Like,
let's be clear here. This has not been exactly the most inspiring month of wrestling.
Anywhere. Like
anywhere.
New Japan is kind of spinning its wheels. We got the 2 Road to the Tokyo Dome shows.
Yeah, we'll talk about
my boy Kitamura won the Young Lions Cup, but that doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
It might. You never know what.
It won't mean anything for like 3 years though.
Maybe not.
He's got to come back from excursion. Maybe he doesn't.
What didn't Finley win the Young Lions Cup and immediately end up on like the main roster matches?
Where's David Finley now?
He's doing stuff with Taguchi Japan. He's a mainstay on the main roster.
The only person who likes Taguchi Japan.
I am not. Sal said 2 weeks ago that he likes Taguchi Japan.
You and Sal are the only people. No, I mean,
Taguchi Japan's got your boy Tanahashi in it. You like Taguchi Japan too.
We got to talk about Will. Do you want to have the conversation now about Tanahashi's hair, or do you want to save it for the Tokyo Dome preview?
We'll save it for the Tokyo Dome preview.
Because that hair.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about. No, I don't want to talk about the perm at all. No,
yeah, the hair. That hair. There is. I mean, props to the gimmick of living the midlife crisis gimmick. What is that hair?
No.
Match of the week. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My match of the week is a callback to last week's match.
Okay.
I talked about this match in passing last week, so I decided to watch it again at the gym, and it was just as great as I remembered. It was the match where Triple H beat Dean Ambrose at Roadblock 1.0.
Nice.
We talked about this last week because all 3 Shield boys had matches with Triple H, and Dean's was far and away the best one.
Yes.
And I wanted to watch this again and figure out why it was far away the best one. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
1, the crowd was unbelievable. Great crowd all night, except for this weird, wacky-ass Stardust Sami Zayn match because it's Cody Rhodes. But you can't have everything, you know? Like, it should have been a red flag that Cody Rhodes could not have a good match with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Really hard to have a bad match with Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Sami Zayn is really pretty good.
Sami Zayn is really good at this gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes, well, not so much. So, you know why this match was great? You're a baseball fan, right?
A bit, yeah. I dabble.
You dabble in baseball, So, like, one of the things I love about baseball, and I think this is more baseball and all sports, but I think this applies most to baseball, is when an athlete, or especially a pitcher, starts to lose some miles off his fastball, but he makes up for it by throwing more breaking pitches and locating better and like studying the scouting reports and getting guys out without using his fastball. Like when a pitcher gets older down the line and he doesn't have the 99-mile-an-hour fastball, it's maybe down like 93, but he makes up for it by locating better, hitting his spots better, keeping hitters off balance, throwing more off-speed stuff. He stops being more of a thrower and starts being a lot more cerebral. I love that transformation in pitchers. When you see a guy come up and he's 21, 22, and he's just blowing the doors off of guys, and then he gets older, and his arm starts to hurt a little bit, and he starts to get beat up, and then he's throwing less fast, but he makes up for it by being a better pitcher. I love that in baseball. Like the Greg Maddux, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's Triple H.
Yes.
I'll do a match one of these days when Triple H had his fastball. When he was having 4-star matches on Raw with Taka Michinoku in 2000, before he blew his legs out and decided to go on the Matt Riddle Adam Driver school of physical fitness, as we talked about in our chat this morning.
Yeah.
When he just got gigantically swollen, when he was still kind of lean and mobile, and he wasn't injured, and he still had his metaphorical fastball, and he could still do cool spots.
Yes.
But
I
in this
apologize
match,
for the car horn in the background. Some idiot didn't turn off the car alarm.
Whatever. Hey, it's off.
No, it's not. But whatever. Don't worry about it.
It's back. Yeah. Here he doesn't have that fastball. He's like a 46-year-old guy who's been through the wars, who's blown out his leg twice, but he knows what he's doing. He paces this match perfectly, and I think that's what makes it work, is because Dean is the most willing of the three Shield boys to go along with the match. He gets so little of his own get my shit in, whereas like Seth has to do the pedigree and has to do the flying knee and has to do the Phoenix Splash, you know what I mean? And Roman has to do the drive-by and has to do the Superman punch. Dean's just like, whatever, I'll just do my DDT, the crowd will pop, you get your leg on the ropes. The rest of the time, Dean's doing original stuff. He's doing exactly what Triple H wants him to do. And it works. Plus, I got to see the cool bump where Triple H gets whipped in the ring post and flips over back and lands outside. That always makes me happy. Best part of this match, Dean hits the DDT. 1, 2. Triple H gets his leg on the ropes. Crowd loses their mind. They buy it. All 18,000 people in that building buy that as the finish.
Oh, yeah. I bought it at home.
It was like a month before WrestleMania, and everyone knew it's going to be Triple H and Roman Reigns for the belt, as it should have been.
Yeah.
But people say, oh, they should hot shot the belt to Dean Ambrose. No. Let's pump the brakes here, people. You know what I mean? There's a table spot at the end. He comes off the barricade with an elbow drop to hit Triple H on the table. Triple H moves. Dean eats shit. Ambrose gets back in the ring, staggers, pedigree, 1, 2, 3, 23-minute match, 4.5-star match. One of my favorite matches of 2016 in the entire company.
Yeah,
great match. Styles make fights. Sometimes you gotta sublimate your ego for the greater good, and this is where Dean Ambrose's lack of signature offense, except for the DDT and that wacky ass lariat, like he doesn't have a lot of signature moves. He's a brawler, right? Like,
I mean, he has the forearm into the bulldog, but that's like
straight out of the Goldust School, by the way.
There's not a lot to him that's set in stone.
No, it's not. He's it's a callback to his CZW background where there's not a lot of spots. It's just guys beating the shit out of each other with various weaponry.
Yes, indeed. So, good match. It was a very good match.
Sorry, I was typing something in the message. Yeah, it was a good match. I liked it a lot. I went 4.5. I love this match. Card was great. Dean was great. Trips was great.
I recall enjoying the hell out of this match. Yeah,
it was awesome. You should watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're up, my friend.
Yes, indeed. So we are continuing. We have 2 episodes left. It means 2 more matches to talk about in our If Not 2017 series. Discussing some of the best matches of 2017 that don't make the top 10 because of what a great year in wrestling it was.
And we were blessed.
We were. And one person in particular that I need to talk about here, a man who has had a stellar year. We're gonna do a little bit of backstory here before we get into this. You and I are both big fans of Mr. Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh, he's one of my 5 favorite wrestlers in the world.
Yep. Guy is 40 years old and is having probably one of the best years of his career, if not the best. He is lighting up every single event that he is a part of, and he is just killing it. Everything that he is doing right now is spectacular. And I can't say enough good things about what Ishii has done with 2017. Starting with the amazing tag team triple threat at the Dome between him and Yano versus the Gorillas versus GBH.
The Profanity Bowl.
Yeah, the Profanity Bowl, exactly. Going all the way up to up to and through the stellar G1 that he had.
Oh, sensational!
The man has been a delight, an incredible asset, an unsung hero of New Japan this year. But I'm going to talk specifically about a match that was part of. It was the culmination of a little bit of a mini series that Ishii had this year with Mr. Kenny Omega, and that was the final match of the G1 Special of Long Beach, the conclusion of the tournament for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship belt. The third match that Ishii and Omega had that year. They started off with Ishii eliminating Omega from the New Japan Cup in the very first round in what was considered an amazingly huge upset. And they went on to have an incredible classic of Wrestling Dontaku. And then this was the rubber match. Both of them having one win apiece. This was the moment where they had to really figure out who was going to be the better man. And we've talked about, Ishii had amazing tournaments top to bottom in the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship series.
He beat Naito, right?
He beat
clean with the Brainbuster.
He beat Naito clean with the Brainbuster in the first round.
Another
amazing series of matches that he had this year were all of his matches with Naito. He had some amazing matches.
When's the last time he had a bad singles match? When's the last time he's had an average match?
I can't think
5 years ago. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it either.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's been a sensation. He's been a blessing to this company. And then the second round, he had the freaking barn burner match against Zack Sabre Jr., which I was a hair's breadth away from covering that match instead of the finals match against Kenny, because of how incredible the two of them worked in that match. And the only reason why I went with the Omega match instead is because of the history between the two of them here with how they had the series going, running through the entirety of the year. That was the only reason why I went with the Omega match instead. This match, right out the gate, Ishii coming out with the arm wrapped because Sabre had just fucking ruined it so much earlier.
I was about to say it. I'm glad you brought that up. He's selling from match to match.
Yep.
Oh my God, I loved it. It was so awesome.
Yeah. Kept the freaking arm wrapped the whole time, and was selling every time he used the arm for something, and was still using it in his offense too, all the damn time. He was, every time he pulled the lariat, every time he pulled the forearm, he was still selling the arm every single time. It was incredible stuff. Sensational work. This man is just a gem. And then we started off, started off the match with their, back and forth trading strikes. Ishii being careful with the arm, but still using it every so often. We have the traditional, run the ropes and attempt the shoulder tackle that Ishii always does, where he just no sells the shit out of it, and the series of back and forth leading up to Ishii getting the upper hand and starting to go on his starting to mount his offense before Kenny gets the upper hand, goes to the outside. The only complaint I have about this match is during the time it went to the outside and the crowd was chanting, can't see shit," because they were they couldn't, because they were in Long Beach Convention Center. They weren't in an arena, so obviously they didn't have adequate camera coverage. But what the hell do you expect? They should have known. But they get back into the ring. They have the big table spot where Ishii's trying to hold off Kenny suplexing him through the table, and he actually has to bite the ropes to hold the dragon suplex, and then still eats it anyway. And then still gets back in the ring. Top rope brainbuster. Ishii using the one-winged angel on Kenny. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this whole series was just. Oh my God, I can't even adequately describe what these two did. And it's amazing the chemistry that these guys have. Because two guys with incredibly different styles. And like you said, styles make fights. Ishii is a brawler extraordinaire. Kenny is, a lot of flash and a lot of technicality. But
Ishii isn't just a brawler extraordinaire. He's one of the best sellers I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, that's it.
But he can do cool slams and suplexes and And, like he's just he gets this biz. He gets it. He gets it. And I'm bummed that he's never going to get an IWGP heavyweight run. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
sucks.
bummed. Yeah,
I mean,
it both sucks and is a testament to the company that they have better options than him.
yes.
Like, the company is so loaded that a guy who is one of the 10 best wrestlers in the world is a mid-carder.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that he's a mid-carder.
Yeah.
Like, so
it fits, but but still, yeah. I mean, the dude is ridiculously good, and the match started with the whole place thunderously cheering for Kenny, and by the time the match was over, it was 50-50 for both of them. His style is so unique. And the fact that he also just doesn't give a shit about the crowd and just doesn't show any emotion during the match, except to show pain when he's taking pain or show aggression when he's trying to build up.
But it makes the fact that when he does show it that much more impactful.
Yeah. Like he doesn't react. He doesn't react to people booing him or people cheering his opponent. He doesn't give a shit. He's just out there to fucking kick ass. And that's one of the reasons why he's one of the best. Guys who are, I know that, there's a place obviously for everybody to be responding to the crowd or, responding to hecklers and whatnot. And there are times when that makes sense, but Ishii just, he just doesn't care. And that's part of the appeal to him. That's part of his charm. It's just the fact that he says he just doesn't give a shit. He's just going to go out there and beat your ass regardless of what anybody else who's out there thinks.
I like it. That's just like a fighter.
Yep.
That's just like what a boxer would do.
Exactly.
Which works for him.
Exactly. It's perfect. So yeah, that's my match of the week. Next week we will continue. We will conclude the series with our last, if not 2017 match, and I will cover the one area of, if not 2017, that I have not covered yet. Which is probably to the surprise and confusion of many. But don't worry, I'll get there.
I'm surprised and confused every week on this show, Chris. So,
good.
Everyone else should join in on the fun. It makes life a lot more interesting.
Hell yeah, it does. All right. Well, before we get into all of the news and recaps and things that we had on schedule, I have to talk about something. And I didn't want to have a lecture this week because we had a lot of lecturing last week. It was the majority of the show. Talking about horrible people being horrible people. And I thought we were going to be able to get away from that this week, but turns out we can't even have 1 week where we can be away from that shit. Earlier today, more explicit videos of WWE Superstar Paige were hacked from private devices and released onto the internet across a multitude of different locales and websites. This coming just a few weeks after Paige did a couple of interviews where she discussed the fact that the previous leak that happened earlier this year had led her initially to thoughts of suicide. Now she has to go through all of that again. Now, I said last week, a couple of very simple rules in life, and one of them being don't be a dick. Especially to people who have undergone horrible, horrible circumstances in life and are trying to get past them. And Paige was on her way past them. She was, back in the WWE, back on TV, doing well. She had everything back in order, getting her life back together, and looking like she was in place for a great spot. And now this. Right as soon as she is getting back to leading a normal life, or as normal as a life as one can lead when they're in professional wrestling. Right as she was getting back to focusing on her career and focusing on what matters in life, this happens again. I cannot state enough how absolutely livid this makes me feel. Privacy is a guaranteed right through the United States Constitution for a reason. There's a reason why people are guaranteed a right to privacy. It is not to be obstructed or invaded. It's not. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care what your everyday life is. I don't care about any extenuating circumstances. If you are a person who is responsible for this, you are shit. If you are a person who spreads this, you are shit. If you are a person who watches this for your own personal enjoyment, you are shit. Because you are enjoying and invading the privacy of another person. Don't fucking do it. If you see links to this shit, report them to whatever social media platform they're being linked on or any other platform. If you see links to this stuff, or you happen to see this stuff being spread anywhere that you frequent on the internet, report it immediately. Get it taken down. These people are human beings. Doesn't matter that they are wrestlers that are out there 365 days a year in the public eye to entertain in the audience. Doesn't matter what their role is. They are individuals who are allowed to have private lives. If you say that they should expect this kind of thing and should know better just because they're famous, shut up, you're an asshole. I don't care. And I'm done being subtle about it, and I'm done being tactful about it. You're shit if you take part in this stuff in any way other than to try and get it removed from the public eye. Do the right thing and don't be an asshole. Paige has already had enough of her life taken away from her because of this bullshit. She's gone through enough. Her family has gone through enough because of this garbage. She doesn't need any more of it, and now she's being forced back into it again because some people just don't know what privacy is and don't know how to leave well enough alone. For the love of God, don't fucking do this. And don't take part in it, and don't accept it. End of rant.
I feel bad for her parents, Chris, most of all. I feel bad for her parents who have to be reminded of this shit because people like to tag them on Twitter for reasons passing understanding. So, but I can't co-sign what you said more strongly than the way you did. So, I really feel bad for her parents.
Yeah,
and her siblings and her and just so.
Now,
yeah, Donnie, it just seems so needlessly malicious to me.
Yeah. Now, there are reports going around saying that Brad Maddox is the one responsible for this because he seems to be a person who is involved in a lot of these videos. I don't know about the veracity of those reports or not, but whoever is doing this to her on purpose. You're absolutely right, Adam. This was done with malicious intent. And whoever's doing it clearly has something against Paige for whatever reason that they're trying to deliberately ruin her life. I don't know who it is. If it's Brad Maddox, he's a scumbag and he's trying desperately to remain in the public eye however he can.
Whomever it is a scumbag. But
yeah, whoever
Maddox
it is.
Or otherwise, yeah.
Regardless. They're shit. So, yeah. Again, if you see this stuff, report it. If you see people, report to people who are spreading it. If you see it being spread in any of your circles, and if you see people, most importantly of all, this is probably the biggest thing of all. If people you know who you are friends with, who are also watch wrestling, are talking about this in some sort of casual way, as if it's funny, or if they talk about it in a way that lets you know that they have enjoyed it or taken part in it in some way, make sure you tell them exactly how awful that is. Make sure that they are aware of just, what kind of awful behavior they are taking part in and what kind of awful attitudes they are perpetuating by allowing this stuff to continue. Like I said last week, sexual assault is nothing to be laughed at, and it's not something to be considered trivial. Revealing someone's private sexual materials in an open platform, on the internet especially, that is a form of assault. That is a form of sexual assault. It is considered a sex crime. So, for the love of God, don't allow this behavior to be taken casually or to just be allowed to spread. Don't stand for it. Take the right attitude. Take a stand against this stuff being continued, because nobody deserves to have this happen to them, whoever it is. Paige especially, because she's already been through this once. But exactly that. Nobody should be dealing with this ever. All right. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about things that are considerably less,
illegal
and heartbreaking.
Well,
Let's move on to the mundane and annoying.
Yes.
That's what I'll call this WWE Clash of Champions. Mundane and annoying.
Okay.
It started out good.
Yeah.
Got worse, and then just ended horribly.
No, it ended great.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it ended great. I don't have to worry about Jinder Mahal ever again. That's awesome.
That is true. Yes.
I don't have to worry about Jinder Mahal and his back knee and his bitch tits ever again.
Oh.
Like.
Well, at least not.
Next time I need to worry about Jinder Mahal is when he keels over and dies in 5 years from an enlarged heart. Chris, if you didn't think the wellness thing was a joke, look at him.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's not going to end well, man. It never ends well.
It doesn't.
He's 31. Does he see 40? I don't know.
Who the fuck knows? I'm 31, and I'm trying to improve my health just because I'm overweight. So that I can see 40. If you know
what? I mean, on some level, I don't blame him. He doesn't get a push if he doesn't look like Jinder Mahal, and that says more about this company than does anything else, right?
Yeah, but all the same, still, it's like
it's been 30 years. This company being at best superficial about performance enhancing drugs in its wrestlers.
Yeah,
30 years. They had a drug testing policy in '92. And then it went away because they were in a war with WCW. Didn't come back till 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Like
conveniently because of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, like it's nothing new with this company, man.
I don't mean to trivialize the death of Eddie Guerrero. Obviously, I'm not.
No, obviously not. But
I'm not trying to be casual about it.
Up and down the line.
Yeah.
There's so many loopholes and exemptions to their policy that it might as well not even exist. And he is walking proof.
Yep. Because trying to get an audience from India.
Nothing about him being pushed to the top with that body and WWE Medical passing him as clean as out of character with the last 30 years of how this company does business.
Yeah. And it's terrible. It really is. It's absolutely terrible.
And here's the end of the day with Jinder. He's a grown man. If he wants to jack himself up with horse steroids, God bless him. But, 5 years from now, when I see on my phone former wrestler WWE superstar Jinder Mahal dead at 37 because of an enlarged heart, I'm not going to be surprised, unfortunately. I'm going to be sad.
Oh, yeah.
His death is tragic, and no man is an island, and one man's death diminishes us all.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be shocked that another drug death happened in this business just when we were cleaning it up.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't a fan, Chris, in the early to mid 2000s.
No, but
when guys were dropping dead every month.
I've seen enough of the videos of things from that time period to see just how unhealthy it was.
To go back to those days, and the fact that they rewarded this guy who so clearly thumbed his nose at their policy. Like, for example, if you are a struggling mid-carder, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're Baron Corbin, and I have no idea if he does or does not. If you're Baron Corbin, what's to prevent you from saying, you know what, they pushed Jinder Mahal because he looks like Jinder Mahal. Somebody send me to a pharmacy in Tijuana.
Yeah.
And then down the line, and down the line, and down the line, and down the line. So, Clash of the Champions, though.
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder. We did not talk about Mojo's awesome promo.
Yeah, we actually have to talk about that because The promo war that took place on Twitter between Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, and I'm not going to talk about Zack Ryder's portion of it because Zack Ryder's portion of it was half-assed. But Mojo Rawley on Twitter is a fucking god with these,
because he wasn't scripted.
That he dropped
because he sounded like a human being.
Yeah, you do your bit about this because I know this is a sticking point for you.
Because he sounded like an actual honest-to-God human being. He wasn't using the corporate lingo. He wasn't talking about getting a championship opportunity. Like, look at the start of Monday Night Raw. Random Monday Night Raw, right? You know what it is? It's the ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw, the longest-running episodic program in weekly television history. This week tonight, we have the big dog Roman Reigns fighting the monster among men, Braun Strowman. The winner will receive a championship opportunity in front of the WWE Universe. Normal people don't talk
against the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar and his advocate Paul Heyman
at the granddaddy of them all. At the
biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania 34.
Like, normal people don't talk like that, so it sounds fake. This company sounds fake. There's nothing authentic, Chris. You know what wrestling and politics has in common? And I'm being 100% nonpartisan. 100% nonpartisan.
Okay.
People will support you in politics, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian or an independent or running for fucking dog catcher. If you are authentic, people will support you in wrestling if you are authentic.
Absolutely.
These people don't do it. They don't get it. We talked about Ishii. Ishii is authentic, right?
Yeah.
We talked about Naito.
He doesn't say a goddamn fucking word.
And Mojo Rawley on Twitter for 2 minutes and 45 seconds was authentic.
Yep.
And then he was off SmackDown for some unknown reason. So, this match was fine. Props to Zack Ryder. Took that finish like a champion. That running forearm, and then just did the flat face bump because he sold that he was dead. That was
fucking glassy-eyed and everything. Just
that was great.
Amazing.
Job well done, Zach.
That is how you know somebody is a veteran when they can just pull that off and just give that look of just
death.
Yeah.
And then he just falls flat on his face.
Just fucking keels over.
That was awesome. This match was great. Mojo trash talking is I'm here for that.
Yeah. Where's your Killer Instinct? I love that they let him say Killer Instinct.
It was so great.
I love it. I was really expecting they were going to like.
I love that they've gotten away from the hype stuff almost entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has the same finish, but that's okay. It's a cool looking finish.
Yeah.
That running forearm, that's so vicious. I love that. Yeah. That is like something Ishii would do.
It's easy to translate that from being, hyped up, crazed face to being a, killer heel move.
I love it. That move would be right at home in New Japan. Like if I told you that Hiroki Goto used that as his finish, you'd be like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I am kind of down on is that entrance music from Mojo is shit, but
it's no good.
CFOs is very hit or miss with that. And, this one was. They've been more on the miss side than the hit side lately, but you know what? All the same, Mojo more than makes up for it with everything else that he does. I'll put up with bad entrance music if it means that I get an absolutely incredible talent out there.
2 more things.
Putting on great matches.
2 more things I loved about this match. 1, it was a blood feud, so they didn't start off with a lockup.
Mm-hmm.
They started off fighting.
Yep.
Right? It was a blood feud. You don't start off with a collar and elbow tie up. And 2, because it's a blood feud, Zack Ryder didn't do his little woo 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 when he went for the running kick. He went for the running kick.
Yep.
And then he did it again. Because he knew he couldn't fuck around.
Yeah.
Love that.
Spectacular
Love
stuff.
That. Yeah. Guys, we say this all the time. It really is the little things.
Yep.
If you are having a blood feud, your very first move in the match should not be a lockup.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping at a guy and punching him in the face, which is exactly what this was.
Come out with the hockey punches.
Yes. Exactly.
Gets it every time.
This match was great. I loved it. Yeah. Maybe like my second or third favorite match of the show.
I wish that this had been on the main card and that they got
my third.
I wish that this had been on the main card and that it had been given a little bit more time, and also that it didn't have a fucking commercial break in the middle of it.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Because fuck mid-match commercial breaks on pay-per-views.
Yeah,
seriously.
What do we have next? United States champion.
Why?
This champ. When it was Baron. Notice how when Baron Corbin was in the match, slowed to a crawl.
Yes.
Like, I thought Rude and Ziggler were good. I would watch these. I would watch Rude and Ziggler have a match. I got to commend them for bringing the heat.
I guess
crowd was into it.
I'm still not a fan of Dolph Ziggler getting anything in.
Dolph Ziggler Tetsuya Naito 2.0 is a weird gimmick, by the way.
It's I'm not here for that.
No, because he has like no charisma, which is a problem.
Yeah, he has nothing. He's nothing to offer there, which
I love two things I love about this match. Normally, a triple threat match ends with one guy hitting his finish, and then the third guy throwing the guy with the finish out of the ring and stealing the pin.
Yeah.
Rude hit the glorious DDT. Corbin went to throw him out of the ring, but then Rude threw Corbin out of the ring, get the pin, only to get pulled back out of the ring himself. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a cool little subversion.
Yeah.
That was a cool. That is a very heavy trope that WWE likes to use. Yeah. And I thought that them subverting it was quite nice. I enjoyed that.
I can agree with that.
I enjoyed that little spot because I was like, oh, here comes the finish. Corbin's going, oh, wait, no, he's not.
I can agree with that, yes.
And I like the actual finish. The end of days / zigzag. Did you see the actual finish?
No, I did not.
So Corbin is going for the end of days,
mm-hmm.
but as he's, how he starts with a bent over.
He bends over and then comes back.
As he stands up, Ziggler hits him with a zigzag.
Oh, nice.
So Rude's dead from the end of days portion, but Corbin is dead from the zigzag portion, and then Ziggler just pins Corbin.
Nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I was like, oh, that's cool.
It's a good way to keep Rude somewhat protected.
Yeah. This match was a good crowd opener. I had no problem with it, except when Corbin was in the match because he's really bad at wrestling.
I'm still not on board with Ziggler's gimmick. I'm really
not. It's a bad gimmick. It's no good.
I'm not really.
I'm just done with him.
Yeah,
done with him. When he was wrestling the Miz and the Miz was talking him up, and he was putting his career on the line, and that was cool. But that was when SmackDown had its fastball. So
not a thing anymore. That does not exist anymore.
No, it does not. And to continue my analogy from earlier, they don't have their fastball, but their curveball's getting smacked all over the place too.
Yeah.
So
they're like a knuckleball pitcher right now.
Yeah.
Like they're like Tim Wakefield. If anybody else knows who Tim Wakefield is besides me, I'll be amazed. But Tim, they're like Tim Wakefield. They've got the knuckleball on, and when it's on, it hits. It's unhittable. But
when it's off,
more often than not, it's off, and it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's a 60-mile-an-hour pitch with no movement.
Yeah,
it's batting practice.
Yep. So,
tag match.
Yeah.
Anything else before I move on?
I mean, I hope that this reign doesn't last very long because Dolph Ziggler holding any title belt in 2017/2018 makes zero sense considering the rest of this roster. But
I think this roster is almost too big. By the way, there's a lot of people.
It's absolutely too big. It's fucking bloated as shit.
There's a lot of people who didn't make SmackDown. Who like the Bludgeon Brothers didn't make SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Mojo didn't make SmackDown. Like that's two winners of the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it should be on the show 48 hours later.
Yeah, Adam, thank goodness somebody else who knows who Tim Wakefield is.
I know Tim Wakefield. He pitches for the Red Sox.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Very good.
And then he pitched for. I think it was he was not a Padre. I think he was mostly a Red Sox. He may have pitched somewhere.
Yes, he was mostly on the Red Sox.
What's his name? Was a knuckleballer too? Ari Dickey.
Yes, but I don't know him as well because I grew up in Rhode Island when Tim Wakefield was in the prime of his career as a knuckleballer. Wakefield was pretty solid for Boston. Yes,
but when the knuckleball wasn't knuckling, it was bad times.
Yeah, he was.
It was like 3 innings of 6-run ball.
Yeah, he was the number 4 pitcher in that starting lineup, and he was. He was definitely serviceable.
Low, Pedro, Schilling, some fun Red Sox teams in the mid-aughts.
Yeah. Leading up to them finally breaking the curse.
Hey, I'll always cheer for someone beating the Cardinals. You know that.
Oh,
I'm always here for that. No problem at all with that.
Definitely.
Tag team match.
Yep. Yeah. Usos retained versus the New Day, Gable and Benjamin, and Rusev and English.
Highlight of this match was Aiden English's song.
Surprisingly, though, Aiden English did not.
The beginning of this match was like kind of crappy because it was all 4 teams had guys in the ring.
Yeah.
And it was you can only
Which
tag
was weird as shit. Like, that's not
you can
typical.
only tag your guy. So like normally like in a triple threat tag match, like anybody can tag anybody.
Yeah.
Like
No,
the blind
even
tag or
even
guy.
in a fatal four-way, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's how it is most
So
of the
like
time.
all 4 guys are in the ring. You can only tag your guy, and it's no DQ.
Yeah.
So why the fuck is the other guy standing on the apron? What's the ref going to do? It's no DQ.
Yeah, why even
Go in
bother
there
with
and
that?
cause some havoc. And my favorite part of this match, and my favorite, I mean least
At
favorite.
that point, it's just a tornado tag.
Yeah. How about the fuck? Oh, there were 2 rest holds.
Yeah.
Because WWE, we got to get our rest hold spots in, guys.
Yeah.
Like
we got to establish that these guys know how to throw a headlock, like
or an arm bar,
like it's 1984.
Yes.
So, and we're still in Memphis. Which is not to say anything against Memphis, but
yeah, because Memphis
it's
had like
not 1984 anymore.
And Memphis had people like beating each other up in the concession stands, so that was cool.
Yeah,
but then the second half of this match was great because it was like guys doing wacky tag team shit.
I enjoyed the
Rusev super over.
I enjoyed the moment of the alliance between the New Day and the Usos that only then ended with them both trying to get a pin. And then, beating the shit out of each other.
I enjoyed Chad Gable's rolling suplexes of death.
Yeah.
And
I did not enjoy Chad Gable having to eat the pin, though.
Yeah, but I did enjoy Chad Gable getting put over huge by the Usos on Talking Smack.
Yes.
And staying in character. Did you notice that, Chris?
Yes.
They stayed in character. They talked about how he's like the dog with no off the chain. And you jump on top of the car when he comes by. Because even though he's little, he packs a big bite.
Yep.
And that's exactly what the Usos would say.
Yep,
because they're street.
They are good.
They're great.
They're really
so good.
Talking shit. Who would have thought?
They're awesome, and they put him over, and at the exact same time kept their characters.
Yep, made sure to make it known that even still he is he's still in their penitentiary.
Yeah. Here's the thing with WWE though, guys. The roster has not been this talented top to bottom in 10 years. Maybe 15 years. You have all these wrestlers on the roster, male and female, who know this business. Trust them to develop their own gimmicks and their own characters. You don't need 30 writers.
You really don't.
You don't. You have people who who gets the business? Kevin Owens. He understands this business. He's not an idiot. You know who understands this business? Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
You know who understands this business? Chad Gable. These guys get the business. The New Day. The Usos. The Usos grew up in this business.
Yep.
Like, they get it.
Why do you think Roman Reigns is as good in this business as he is? Because he fucking grew up in the business and he gets it.
These guys get the business. You know who doesn't get the business? Vince's 30 yes men writers.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think Kevin Dunn has been with this company for how long, and he still doesn't fucking understand how to run a fucking wrestling promotion.
Well, it starts with Vince.
Yeah.
It always starts with Vince.
Yes. But Vince knew once.
Yeah, once.
And then he decided, nope, we got to make movies instead.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's like when you get old, you get set in your ways. The problem with that is if you're leading a company, your ways may have worked 10 years ago, but that was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. Like, no pun intended, it's a new day.
Yes, it is.
So.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah.
Next up, lumberjack match.
Oh, this match was
Women's Championship. Charlotte beat Natalya. It was not great.
This match was for the 1/3 of the match that this was the lumberjack show.
Mm-hmm.
It was shit.
Yes.
Liv Morgan cannot do anything.
Oh God, Liv Morgan outed herself after a few weeks of really not making it obvious that she's still a lost.
I thought they were like, she can't throw a punch, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm not asking her to do a shooting star press. She can't throw a punch.
Yeah, and she accidentally tried to throw one into the back of her stablemate head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we gotta talk about that promo was it Mandy Rose who got the promo about the cats in the rocking chair?
I don't remember.
Was that?
No, Mandy Rose is on Raw.
Maybe it was whoever, one of the new 6. I don't remember which group of 6 it was. Has a southern accent. and cut a promo.
It
What?
was Sarah Logan. It was Sarah Logan.
So she cuts this promo.
That's going to be a problem because, that staff of 30 writers, they get stuck on one character trope, and Sarah Logan's trope is that she's from the backwoods of Kentucky.
And she's talking about, like, cats and rocking. Well, I mean,
you got to talk about her grandpappy and grits and her cats in the rocking chair.
The cats in the rocking chair.
Shotguns in the porch.
That was, like, the worst 30 seconds I've heard in, like, months.
Oh, God, yeah. No, it's like, awful.
The content and the delivery were both terrible.
And that shouldn't be how it is because, if they watched a second of what she did in the indies, they would know that she can cut some pretty vicious fucking heel promos. But no, we got to stick with our character bit, so we got to make her from the South as genuine Southern as we can possibly make it.
I saw The Disaster Artist last night, the movie about The Room.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it, by the way. I loved it. Laughed for 90 minutes. Loved it. Funny as hell. James Franco was awesome. But, like, one of the things in the movie that, like, one of the, quote, themes was, like, that you need to, like, put yourself out there as your character. Whatever your character is, even if your character is batshit crazy Tommy Wiseau, like, you need to put yourself out there as that character. You need to invest in that character. And it's impossible to invest in the character as a wrestler when you have no agency in your character.
Yeah.
Because you're being handed a script by a fucking writer.
Yeah.
Like, so the lumberjack portion of this match was god awful. Poor Charlotte went for that moonsault, missed everybody.
Yeah. Although Naomi did yeoman's work during her portions of the lumberjack.
By the way, Naomi's the only babyface out there.
Yeah.
Because Becky's off filming and Naomi's it.
Yeah.
Lumberjack, you know what? Like, lumberjack matches always suck. This sucked. The portion that was lumberjack centric sucked. The portion that was Natalia centric was just
god awful.
Just no heat.
Natalia is god awful.
She has no heat. She's not god awful. She's fine. Just nobody cares. She can't connect to the crowd in any way, shape, and form. Like, she's fine. She didn't botch shit.
No, she doesn't. But her performances are not exactly what I would call inspiring either.
Exactly. It's good work.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The problem that Natalia has is that she, at the time of the Divas era, when everything was all about sex appeal and looking like models and slap fights, she was the most technically sound wrestler in a division that didn't value technically sound wrestling. Fast forward to now, and she's still a technically sound wrestler, but she's been incredibly surpassed by a group that is especially more technically sound than she is and is more capable of connecting to the crowd than she is. So the people that remember her from when she, from days bygone when, the hardcore women's wrestling devotees longed for technically sound wrestling matches, they look to her and say, okay, yeah, she actually could do it during that time period and knew how the hell to get it done. And, we like the fact that she can do it. But now it's like, oh, wait, there's all these other people who are better than her. So
yeah, I'm still waiting. I mean, I don't know. This match was a mess. We knew it was, but you know what? We knew it was going to be a mess. So
yeah,
I can't. I don't have a lot of.
It was a placeholder. It's a very clearly a placeholder. I don't want my women's
matches to be placeholders, though, man.
Well, I mean, not placeholder in the sense of it being like a bathroom break match. What I mean is, it was an unfortunate afterthought that needed to be completed in order to get to the next portion of the story, which is to be the SmackDown Women's Division versus the Riot Squad, which is going to with Carmella as the X Factor, which is also going to be a rough segment of story without Becky Lynch there, and with having to rely on people like Lana and Tamina and Liv Morgan to carry portions of that story.
I'm good. I'm real good. Although I'll say this, Carmella can talk. I don't know. Liv Morgan she's not ready.
No, she's not. And
she can't throw a punch. What if she's been in NXT for like 3 years?
She's also only 20. She's also only 23 years old.
Tyler Bates 20. He can throw a punch. Like,
Yeah, well,
she's
he's
been in
been in
NXT
this,
for how long though?
Tyler Bates been in this business for how long, and has been
When did Liv Morgan? When did Liv Morgan debut? She's in this multi-million-dollar performance center. She can't throw a punch. Like I'm not asking her to do a Phoenix Splash, man. I'm saying throw a worked punch.
Liv Morgan has been part of the company for 3 years. Before that, she was a waitress at Hooters. She has no background in this.
Yeah, but she's been in the company for 3
I know.
years.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that this is. I'm not saying this is an excuse
all
for
the
her.
time.
I am just as hard on Liv Morgan as you are, if not more so, because she was eating up TV time in NXT. When there were other far more deserving performers who were sitting warming the benches, and now she's eating up TV time on the main roster when there are other far more deserving performers, wasting time in NXT when they could be debuting the main roster instead. Granted, we may get that next month for some of them, but still, like, come on, guys, this isn't hard.
Yeah. Again, like, she's not ready.
No, she's
not ready. Not even close. So, I like Charlotte. I don't love Charlotte. I like her. I can't. That's it. I just like her.
The Charlotte problem, I've talked about this in passing before, or maybe in detail too. But at this point, I can't even remember what we've talked about over 41 fucking episodes.
Yeah.
But the problem with Charlotte is just we've had too much of her at this point. She's been a centerpiece in everything that has gone on in the main roster women's division since the call up 2 years ago.
She has been a revolution.
She has been a centerpiece of all of it, like, this whole time. And she's capable. She certainly is capable. She's got plenty of skill in that ring. She's incredibly athletic. She can cut a promo. She can get it done. But there's just too much going on at this point.
That's a good way of putting it.
She needs some time out of the spotlight because, eventually people start to sour on those who spend too much time in the spotlight. Look at Roman Reigns.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like Christmas music.
Yeah.
You hear Christmas music every day for a month. Next thing you know, you hear freaking Wonderful Christmas Time and you want to put your head through it. You want to put your head in an oven.
Yep.
Like, because you heard it 600 times. Same with Charlotte.
It's unfortunate.
Only so many times I can hear Jingle Bell Rock without wanting to, drive into traffic.
Go play in traffic.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Bad time.
Yeah. Bludgeon Brothers Breezango. This match kind of sucked, but it was like just.
It was.
Speaking of shit that's fake as hell, the Bludgeon Brother, just War Machine, just go to NXT already. Get called up and get this gimmick off my television. Yeah. I'm happy for Harper, less happy for Rowan, but there's just this gimmick is just death.
It's terrible. The problem with this gimmick, and I'm happy for these guys too for finally
getting the end of the beginning. The beginning is the end. Yeah, Harper, Rowan, Bludgeon Brothers. What are you doing? You giant ass mallets. Come on, man.
It's silly. It absolutely is silly. There's no question about it. And you know what? It's
everything about this gimmick I hate. I hate the look. Sorry.
The problem with this gimmick is that if you wanted to reboot these guys needed to be so incredibly distanced from the Wyatt shit. And it wasn't. This is about as close to the Wyatt shit as you can get without still calling them part of the Wyatt family. Like it's so close.
There's only one way this is going to work, dude. It's got to be utter dominance, high impact, high intensity matches.
Yeah.
That wasn't this. This was slow, meandering, and it was totally counterproductive to making Harper and Rowan look like unstoppable badasses.
Yeah. The squash matches
did more are real good tag team wrestlers.
The squash matches did far more for them than this did. And I know the reason why they didn't do anything serious with this match is because they don't care about Breezango, but they should have.
They should.
They should. The writing staff should have done
Here's the problem.
something important with this.
If you don't care about your characters, why should anyone else?
Yeah. That's not hard to get.
Like if they don't care about Breezango, why should you and I, or Don Sal or Marcel or Adam or anyone else?
You can't just fucking ride the tidal wave of goodwill for infinity off of a bunch of vignettes that you did, especially if you stop showing these vignettes on television proper. And that's what they did. The last Fashion Files was on the fucking network. I guarantee I guarantee you that barely anybody saw it. And because the fact that barely anybody saw it, I guarantee you that barely anybody was invested in this match, to see that kind of stuff, to get involved. So why should we? It's idiotic.
Yeah. Okay, Chris.
Yes.
Did you watch Team Canada versus Randy Orton and his horrendous haircut and with his partner Shinsuke Nakamura?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. It wasn't that long ago that Nakamura Sami Zayn had like a match of the year.
Yeah. That was
not that long ago, guys.
A year and a half ago.
But it feels like 30 years ago.
Yep.
This match blew.
Oh, it did.
This was a long, boring match where nothing happened for long stretches because the referees were arguing.
But yeah, and that's the problem. That is why you can't fucking do authority figure feuds every year again and again and again ad nauseum. Despite the fact that the character is different, you can't fucking do it.
Nakamura was a total afterthought, by the way.
Yeah,
and Randy Orton gave 0 fucks.
I would too if I was him.
0 fucks.
None of the wrestlers in this match, none of
the 4 guys mattered.
None of them mattered.
Shane McMahon and a guy who can't wrestle.
Yeah, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan were the only people that were the focus of this match.
So,
and that's not how you write good wrestling. You know why? Because that's not wrestling.
I mean, here it is, Chris. Non-spoiler Star Wars comments. Non-spoiler. For the 3 people who have not seen Star Wars.
Me being one of them.
So, Star Wars, and I'm talking about the entire pantheon, not just the movie that just came out.
Yes.
Is the Skywalker family saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else, everyone else in the entire 8 movies is defined by their relationship or interaction with a member of the Skywalker clan. Anakin, Luke, Leia, emo boy. Okay? Right? One of those 4. You're defined by how you interact with one of those 4 people. Or more than one. Every single character in the 8 movies who's important in some form or fashion interacts with those people. And their relation and their expectations in the movie and their role in the series is defined by how they interact with the Skywalkers, right?
Yes.
Substitute the word Skywalker for McMahon. Substitute the word Star Wars for World Wrestling Entertainment.
And then replace the writers with
family saga.
And then
only difference is Star Wars is popping pirates, and these fucks aren't.
Replace George Lucas with a team of 30 monkeys.
Yes. Kathleen Kennedy with Kevin Dunn. Or whatever.
Like freaking episode of The Simpsons. And here we have 1,000 monkeys and 1,000 typewriters, and soon one day, one of them will write the greatest novel in the history of man.
Yes.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey. That's what I feel like WWE
nice callback.
That's one of my college roommates would reference that scene repeatedly anytime he was talking about one of his incompetent honors professors, and it was it was one of my favorite things that he would do because he does an incredible impression of Mr. Burns. He does wonderful voice impressions of the Simpsons characters. So that's always a favorite of mine.
For 20 years, all that's mattered in this company is the McMahons and how people interact with them.
Yeah, I'll give you another Simpsons callback about what happens when you have 20 years of family infighting. Another Simpsons reference here. Hey, where's this thing going? Garbage Island.
Another good reference. In fact, WWE may be like The Simpsons in that it's a show that just keeps going on and no one has any fresh ideas about what to do.
Yep.
Just like Star Wars. Look at that.
Hey.
It all comes full circle.
Hey.
It all comes full circle.
You leave my Star Wars alone, damn it.
I love Star Wars, but
I
they only know how to tell one story. We've talked about this. A plucky band of rebels blows up a base with the help of some orphan from a desert planet. That's the story. The only story WWE knows how to tell is guy fighting against the authority. The only story Star Wars knows how to tell is plucky rebels blowing up a base and or planet with the help of somebody with a mysterious past from a desert planet who can make rocks float.
Hey, I've read the books.
Am I wrong?
I mean, in the books, that's not true. But yeah, in the movies, yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's it. And the books are all non-canon. Sorry, Thrawn. R.I.P. Skypoint. Love you, Thrawn. You're my boy. My boy, Blue, literally.
You know what? You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to start reading the X-Wing books again because of you. God damn it.
Gotta read the Thrawn trilogy, man.
Oh, I've read the Thrawn trilogy.
Read it again, damn it.
No, the X-Wing books are better.
Read it again.
The X-Wing series is better. I don't care. The X-Wing books were the books that got me into the Star Wars.
I hated this match. This match sucked. I went 1.5 star. 1.5 star. Yeah. And I would have gone lower if I had not been amused by Orton's terrible haircut.
And
or hair plugs.
And then the next night with I trust you implicitly, have a good show. Handshake, walk away. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I hated this match.
The weakest...
it went like an hour and a half, it felt like.
Yeah. When a 21-minute match feels interminable, you fucked up more than anybody can possibly say.
Yeah.
And this match did feel interminable. It was god awful.
Like, one final point. Owens is a guy who the crowd have desperately wanted to be the anti-hero. Remember when he split open Vince's head?
Yeah.
And he's been treading water as a heel. And somehow WWE failed to get Sami Zayn over in the slightest, despite his yeoman's work on the heel side and babyface side. Like, this match was terrible. None of the 4 guys in this match came out better than they came in.
This should have been a momentous occasion because you have 3 guys who are incredible talents in this business and one of the all-time, great names. Well, not great. Well, one of the all-time veteran names of
this match should have been great with these 4 guys.
This should have been a spectacular match. And instead, it was just absolutely a waste of time.
It's just boring.
For everyone involved.
It's boring. So, it's just...
This was... WWE needs to stop with living
on Twitter. Oh, sorry, go on.
WWE needs to stop living in the mindset of good enough. That is the problem. They are living constantly and consistently in the mindset of this is good enough because our crowd is a bunch of man-children that we don't want to listen to and a bunch of diehards who will watch no matter what.
You know how bad this match was? Matches like this make me never want to see wrestlers I like work for this company.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see Matt Riddle in WWE.
Yeah, I don't want...
I don't fuck.
People talk about, it's a dream that this person will show up in NXT one day. Yeah? What kind of a dream?
And then what?
It sounds like a nightmare to me.
Like, I saw this on Twitter, and I wish I remember where, but I don't. And this person said, quote, for the caliber of talent involved, this actually might be the worst match of the year.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like,
when you're talking about return on investment, absolutely.
Yeah. Either that or in WWE, like the Brock Braun disaster.
Even that, though, because, we've come to expect, because one only needs to look to WrestleMania 32 with Dean Ambrose. We've come to expect that Braun is going to have a match or 2 a year.
Yeah, we get the one Brock clusterfuck match a year.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But, if I told you these 4 guys were having a tag match and we're given 20 minutes, you'd be like, great, 4 stars without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Nope,
not this time.
No. And yeah, they still haven't told the Triple H Kevin Owens story. They just kind of retconned that out into oblivion. because
Yep.
Triple H is feuding with half the Raw roster, and he hasn't been on television in a month, right?
Yeah.
Has he been on TV since SmackDown or since the Survivor Series?
Nope.
No, but he's feuding with Angle, Jordan, Braun, Shane, and he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Well, Monday Night Football ends Monday, and it's Christmas Day. So,
Oh yeah,
maybe
that's
we'll see
right.
him again.
That's week 17. Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm going to see Bears Browns live in person because I hate myself.
My
best friend,
barn burner of a
my
match.
best friend's like, you told me 4 times why you're going. I still don't know why you're going. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I'm going either. Because I hate myself. It must be the only explanation. I may go to SmackDown that Tuesday. There's no way I'm going to Raw Christmas Day.
No,
you ever been to a Raw taping? Now that they're 3 hours, it's like torture.
Oh yeah, I've been to a few Raws.
Were they like 3 hours?
Yeah.
And it's like torture, man.
My first big bit of wrestling writing was that I talked about the night that I walked out of Raw.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the smart one because you didn't have to sit through the whole 3 hours.
Yeah. I left because of how people were behaving, ironically enough, during a 6-man tag match that featured Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Fancy that.
Yeah.
Main event. Let's see. Thoughts on the main event. AJ Styles, really, really great. Jinder Mahal, really crappy. Although I did like the story they were telling. The story of Jinder was ambushed, quote unquote, in England. And now that he had time to prepare, he found cool ways to counter AJ stuff and do cool moves of his own. And oh yeah, AJ bumping like he's 1995 Shawn Michaels. Like, I like that story where it was like, now that Jinder could scout him out, he could use the fact that he's like smart maybe and come up with like cool moves. Like the weird like fireman's carry into the gutbuster that he almost like botched.
Yeah, almost.
And he still can't hit his finish.
Yeah.
How? How does he not hit his finish?
I don't get it.
By the way, is that the first time someone kicked out of his finish?
Yes, I think
He's
so.
done. Bye. Our long national nightmare is over, Chris, like I tweeted.
Hurrah, another year. Surely this one will be better than the last.
Yeah. Like, have fun on main event, man. It's been real.
Have fun feuding with Dolph Ziggler for the United States title because they need to make that title matter even less.
We spent 6 months propping Jinder Mahal up for the India tour. The India tour was a disaster in every way, shape, and form. They sold less tickets than they did the year before, or the circuit before, because they come every other year. So we spent 6 months and we fed Shinsuke Nakamura to this guy to put him over, and we fed John Cena to Shinsuke Nakamura to get Nakamura over enough to be fed to Jinder Mahal. So we fed John Cena to Jinder Mahal by proxy.
Yeah.
He had a good but not great match with AJ. I mean, AJ tried. He really did. He bumped like a maniac, but even he couldn't save this match. There was just this match just told me how boring Jinder Mahal is.
Yeah.
He was placed in a main event spot, Chris, and he was expected to fill time with the best wrestler in the world, or one of the best at worst. A truly good wrestler would have stepped up. This fuckface couldn't do it. What's that say about you? You have a bad match with you have a mediocre match with AJ Styles. It's not on AJ Styles, homeboy. It's on you. You ever see Rounders, Chris?
No, but
there's a line in Rounders.
I've heard enough about it.
If you're sitting at the table and you can't spot the sucker in the first 30 minutes, you're the sucker. Think of it like that. If you have a mediocre match with AJ Styles, it's not on AJ Styles.
No, not in the least.
Unless, God forbid, he blows his knee out halfway through or something.
Yeah.
It's on you. It's on you, Pimp Daddy. Like, so, yeah, you know what, Jinder? Thanks for coming. Like, you know, I mean, everybody was right and you were wrong, WWE, but you know more than all of us. So.
Congratulations. You have fulfilled your purpose.
That's it. Thanks for coming. Bye. I never want to see you in a position of importance ever again.
Yeah.
Now, for the love of God, get some Clearasil.
How about, for the love of God, stop taking fucking performance-enhancing drugs?
God. My God, he ain't kidding, man. His poor heart.
Who the hell thought this was a good idea?
Doesn't end well. It doesn't end well.
I always like to make a callback to you're familiar with the show Metalocalypse, right?
I know of it. I cannot say I've seen it.
Okay. All right. So it's a show about the Cartoon Network used to run in their late night blocks of 15-minute shows about a death metal band that somehow becomes the most influential force in the entire planet in the future.
Oh, cool.
And the entire group is dumb as bricks, and they're consistently getting into shenanigans. So on the first season DVD, there are little Easter eggs of outtakes, and one of them is of the lead singer of the band, a guy named Nathan Explosion, who talks like this and has a really gravelly voice, narrating a book on tape version of Hamlet. And he's like commentating on it as he's
disaster.
Yeah, he's like commentating on it into the microphone as he's reading the lines. So he's like offering his own little editorialization of Hamlet. And at one point he just goes, no one proofread this. And then at another point he says, in like middle of a sentence, he's reading off a big soliloquy, and all of a sudden in the middle he just goes, "This doesn't make any sense." and I'm like, every time I see shit like the Jinder Mahal push as it plays out disastrously on WWE TV, all I can think to myself is an alternation of no one proofread this, or this doesn't make any sense. Because
good analogy.
It's it doesn't. Nothing about this would happen anywhere else.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
I don't know. They're dealing from a position of relative strength, but like it's just...
they are in full mount, raining down punches on the competition, and yet somehow they are managing to punch themselves in the face 90% of the time still.
Also, they hate their fan base.
Yes!
Now, to be fair to them,
a lot of their fan base deserves to be hated them.
90% of wrestling fans are like just
the fucking worst.
Like, so I don't blame, you know what I'm saying? I don't blame them for hating their fan. I hate their fan base too. So I don't blame them there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what WWE hates their fan base, and I also hate their fan base. So I get that. Like,
there are a lot of wrestling fans that are absolute shit.
Not even just like the shitty ones. I mean, just like the nuts. Not even like the bad guys. Just like the stands. You know? So
I mean, standing for wrestlers is all right as long as you don't get hostile about it. That's my.
But they don't get hostile about it.
There are people who get hostile about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm saying the vast majority of them do.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are people who I know who are stands for particular wrestlers who aren't aggressive about going into other people's social media and engaging in verbal jousting about about who's better.
I'm guilty of it too, but social media is just a cesspool.
Yeah.
And I live in a glass house here, man. I spend all day on Twitter because I must hate myself. I think that's the moral. I think that's what we should name this episode.
No,
we hate himself. You know?
we spend all day on Twitter because we would rather be doing anything but the jobs that we have. But we
should rename this episode "George Hates Himself." Between me going to Bears Browns and me bantering on Twitter with people, like a lot of deep-seated psychological issues or something going on here.
Well, here's the thing, and what I've learned is if you keep yourself in your bubble, the banter is usually good. So
true.
Keep yourself in your bubble, man. You won't keep yourself. We have good friends. We have good friends.
Good people listen to our podcast. We like to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I donate myself. Yeah. Face turn.
There you go.
All right.
You're never having a face turn. Let's be honest here.
No.
Not on this show.
Oh, do I got to talk about Stephanie McMahon now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go right ahead.
All right, Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
we're having the main event. We're having a women's match. It's a good match. Not a great match. Good TV match. They're all beating each other up. Life is good. I'm happy. And all of a sudden, I hear Steph's horrible R&B music theme.
Style and Grace?
Yeah, and I say, oh, God. God, here comes the pain.
And then I start vomiting profusely into a bucket.
And I'd say the promo that Big Steph cut on this, announcing this Women's Rumble, may be the worst thing I've seen on television this year.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
Let me tell you why, man. Why in God's name are they all standing around that they got a match? Why is Absolution arm in arm with the people they've been beating up? Why is Steph doing PR on my television show? Look, Chris, I get 3 hours a week. If you want to be okay, sorry, back up. You're on my television for 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right? All I ask while you're on my television for that 3 hours a week is that you at least try and keep to a little bit of kayfabe. You want to be on Twitter and talk about how excited you are for the Women's Rumble? God bless. God bless. I'm serious. Sasha Banks wants to tweet after Raw, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm so excited. More power to you. But I don't want that on my television. Women being happy that they got a Rumble is something for real life, not the television. Continuously doing this shit so Stephanie McMahon can brag about how pro-women she is to stock investors is stupid. Chris, here's what I want. Give them the Rumble and let them have storylines and angles going into it like you do with the men. That's equality. Otherwise, you know what it is? It's patronizing as fuck. And it's insulting to the women that, oh, none of your shit matters because Mama Stephanie's home.
I've seen a lot.
To announce the start of the Divas Revolution, hashtag patent pending.
I've seen a lot of people share your sentiment about this for a lot of reasons, and I agree.
It's pandering, man. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Here's what I want to know. When they have a first-time match for the men, on the men's side, do they go out of their way to have a giant announcement about it where the entire men's division is out there celebrating in the ring? No. When they do, when they announce a big event for all of the men to take part in, or for a new group of men to take part in, do they have a giant announcement where it takes up a huge chunk of TV time and the authority figures are the central figure getting all the praise and accolades for making that announcement? No. Equality matters. But none more so than the idea that the women should not be paraded about as showpieces for the company's accomplishments. When the women have a groundbreaking event, but it's treated as being a big deal because it's a groundbreaking event, not because it's a groundbreaking event specifically for the women, that's when we'll have equality. That's when we will have some sense of the women mattering on an equal level to the men, rather than needing to be given, and that's not to say that, giving them special spotlights is a bad thing. But don't make it out to be a big deal just because it's for the women. When the first Royal Rumble happened, did they make such a big deal out of it like that? No. I hate to call back to this because this was terrible the way that it was carried out. But last year when they had the Survivor Series matches for the women and the tag teams and they announced it all at the same time, that was the right way to do it. That made sense. Yeah, it was stupid because, interbrand warfare, we've talked enough about how stupid interbrand warfare is, but it made sense because at least they encompassed it within the larger portion of this is historic for X reasons, not this is historic for the women. And, we're so progressive, we're so forward thinking. Really? Because I can name about 6 different indie feds that have run women's battle Royal Rumble, whatever the fuck you want to call it, kind of matches for years before WWE did this. You're not groundbreaking. You're just getting with the times. Stop tooting your own horn just because you're finally, moving into the realm of treating your female performers like human fucking beings.
Here, constantly positioning Steph as the progressive benefactor undermines the entire thing because it feels like charity case. It's not about, you know what it's not about? It's not about this Rumble happening because it's so in demand because all these feuds demand it that not having it would be stupid. The stories that Steph, from a high atop her mountain, made the unilateral decision to bestow this wonderful opportunity on these charity cases. And they're not charity cases, Chris.
They're not!
So, it sucks.
These performers were in this business, doing more for this business before Stephanie McMahon even walked out into the ring for the first time as the SmackDown GM back in the 2000s. I shouldn't say that. But
you know what would have been okay? Well, would have been more okay? Absolution's in the ring wrecking havoc, and Steph walks out to the stage and says, "Only one solution for this. We're having a women's Royal Rumble match."
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
And why would you...
like Mick Foley did with the first TLC.
Yeah.
He was the commissioner of Monday Night Raw back in 2000.
How about this? Why would you fucking announce shit like that, but only have half of your women's roster there? Because the SmackDown women are going to be a part of this too.
True.
So what? True. So what the fuck is the point of what the fuck is the point of this for them? Because they're not even.
You're right. You're not wrong. But if she had just come out on the stage, not taken the spotlight literally and figuratively, if Absolution had laid waste to everybody in the ring and was standing there beating up people, and Steph comes out to the stage and says, "Well, now to a real test, every woman for herself in a Royal Rumble, no 3-on-1 tactics." January 25th or whatever. All right. That makes a lot. That's cool. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But her going to the ring and talking about, no, it's not about you. It's about the wrestlers.
Despite what Vince McMahon might want you to believe, Stephanie McMahon did not invent women's wrestling.
No. And it's like, it's just so insulting. It is. It's so.
It is. It absolutely is. You're absolutely right.
It's so insulting. Patronizing and insulting, and I'm happy for the women's wrestlers that they get to do something cool, and it is cool. Although I'm worried that poor Liv Morgan's going to blow a knee out, but Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan may not want to. They may want to be eliminated real quick.
She managed to make it through the the NXT Women's Battle Royal that happened that one time without killing herself. Although she did almost kill herself and Cameron trying to powerbomb Cameron out of the ring. So, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
maybe Liv should come in and be there for like a minute. And
put Liv out there as number 2 to Asuka's number 1 and have her just get annihilated early.
Exactly. So, but in all honesty, it is cool, but just the process. The result is cool, but the process just sucks.
It does.
So that's my big thing for this week because I want to talk about stuff.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's just I am all in favor of the women having a Royal Rumble.
That's gonna be cool.
I was in favor of it when it was.
I hope Becky Lynch is back by then. I love Becky Lynch.
I was in favor of it when it was speculated about a few months ago. I'm in favor of it now, but God in heaven. WWE, you need a better way to just, to announce this shit. They really need a better way
you need a paradigm shift. You need to realize that it's not about
nobody cares about the fucking McMahons and their role.
It's not about you guys. Anymore. It's not about you guys. It's about your wrestlers.
Yeah.
You got some of the best in the world, male or female.
Exactly.
The best in the world are on this roster.
You want there are probably going to be some people who are going to accuse me of, of talking out my ass here. because this happened during a time when I wasn't watching, but I'm gonna comment on it anyway. You want to know why the feuds of the McMahons versus the wrestlers worked in the late 90s and early 2000s? Because when you had Stone Cold Steve Austin out there able to give a stunner to Vince McMahon and take the power back from him at the end of the match and at the end of the feud, the crowd could get behind that, and it worked.
Because Vince showed ass every week.
But here, when was the last time Stephanie had her comeuppance? When Brie Bella slapped her during a talking segment in 2014? That was the last time Steph McMahon had any comeuppance, and it was while Brie Bella was in the process of quitting, only to then come back and get handed to her sister for that god-awful feud.
Well, she died in the womb, man. Come on.
Don't ever repeat that line to me ever again. I will boot your ass off this podcast.
She died in the womb.
Oh my God! Okay.
I love Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella's great.
You know what?
Nikki Bella delivering lines is not great.
No, I'm muting you. Not really. All right, unmute you here. Come on. Hey, shit, did I fuck this up? Damn it! I didn't want to do that. Okay, there you go. Now you're back.
Are you there?
Yes, I muted you, but then I couldn't figure out how to unmute you because I forgot the control.
You stifled my voice, you cur! You scoundrel!
That's what you get for repeating that god awful line. I told you not to. Oh my God!
No.
Nope.
Else this week besides Kitamura being awesome in the Lion Cup.
Yeah, we got to talk about Final Battle too.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I
don't care.
Neither did I. But actually, there are some implications to Final Battle. We should talk about it. So I'll run down the results real quick.
Actually,
I'm going to run down the things that matter real quick because there's a lot of stuff in this card that really doesn't make much difference here. Let's see. War Machine defeated the Addiction in a tag team match.
War Machine's going to NXT sooner or later. The worst kept secret wrestling. Speculation
is that this is probably going to lead to War Machine signing with NXT because they had a spot after the match where they bowed to the crowd, so it seems likely that they are going to be signing their WWE contracts. And you know what? Good for Ray Rowe for being able to be in the same company as his girlfriend, Sarah Logan. But God, I really hope that this isn't career suicide for them.
No, take the money. Take the money.
I mean, yeah, take the money. Absolutely, take the money.
Nowadays, if you go to the WWE and you bomb out for whatever reason, you'll just make more on the indies. Look at Cody Rhodes.
That's true. God,
take the money. Take less travel. They can live in Florida, although Florida heat and those beards may be a problem. But
I think Ray already lives in Florida because Anyway, Motor City Machine Guns defeated the Best Friends to retain the ROH World Tag Team Championships.
Sure.
I think after. Okay, no, it wasn't after that match. It was something else. All right, next up, talking about in confusing booking decisions of 2017, Silas Young, of all people, won the Fatal 4-Way to win the ROH World Television Championship.
Apparently, the match itself was pretty solid.
Still, Silas fucking Young, who has the most horrible gimmick in the company and is 38 years old.
I don't mind his gimmick. It's his finish doesn't make sense.
I hate his gimmick so much.
If your gimmick is the last real man and you're like a bastion of masculinity,
he's not a bastion of masculinity.
But if that's your gimmick,
he is 38 years old and he looks every bit of it.
But if that's your gimmick, and even if you're doing it ironically, your finish cannot be some flippy do moonsault shit.
Yeah.
Your finish needs to be a punch to the head.
Yeah.
Or a lariat or something. You can't have the weird headstand corkscrew John Morrison shit as your finish.
That is very true, yes. I will agree with that.
I mean, props to Silas. He's AAW vet, and I'm happy to see that he gets a belt. So
Briscoes, as expected, defeated Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. Further speculation that
Bully Ray may retire for the 14th time.
Yeah. in news that surprises literally no one.
I don't need to see Tommy Dreamer on television ever again. By the way,
I don't need to see Tommy Dreamer in a wrestling ring ever again.
Yeah,
I know he does stuff on the indies, and more power to him. But God in heaven, I'm still dreading the day when we're gonna see Tommy Dreamer was was sent to the hospital in a vegetative state because he took a bad fall during a match.
That's it, man. Like it's brutal. It's crazy. It's like you watch through your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. The Hung Bucks defeated Dragon Lee, Flip Gordon, and Teton to retain the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Championships.
Do you care about the dropkick spot that had people losing their fucking minds on Twitter? It was very dumb. Like, people losing their minds on Twitter was also very dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever. Apparently the crowd loved it, so whatever.
Yeah. After the match, the Addiction with somebody else, I don't remember who the somebody else was, but after the match, the Addiction and somebody else attacked the Hung Bucks to lay claim to the next for the next shot at the titles. So that's a thing. The Addiction, continues their heel turn, which is inexplicable and stupid.
Daniels and someone else, you said?
Yeah, because Arian Daniels and someone else.
Sorry, folks who wanted a Ring Honor recap. Neither Chris nor I watched this show because it wasn't available on my my network it wasn't available. I don't have cable. I couldn't order it.
The normal services we use, we could not access it.
The normal TNA was available. Ring Honor was not.
Yeah. In the main event, Dalton Castle with the boys defeated Cody Rhodes.
Happy for Dalton Castle. Yeah, it's a year too late. Yeah, but he was hurt, so I shouldn't even say it's a year too late. But because he was hurt for a big chunk of it.
Finally, though, Dalton Castle has won the ROH World Championship.
Props to him. He's a cool dude. I like him.
He's one of the. I expect him to be very high on my list of wrestlers of the year next year because the dude. Talk about people who get this business. Or Dalton Castle's a guy who fucking gets this business. Mm-hmm. He is a showman extraordinaire. He knows how to fucking do it right.
You have to be.
He can be as flamboyant and crazy with the boys as he wants, but at the same time, then he can be vicious and
throw suplexes at people. Yep, you're right. You're 100% right. I like the guy a lot.
Yeah,
got a good look, good size, can go, good talker, cool gimmick. Yeah,
absolutely.
No more 3-star Cody Rhodes in my title matches.
So
how about Cody Rhodes with his bleach blonde Eminem from 1999 haircut?
No.
No, thanks. You saw it, right?
I saw it and I immediately wanted.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's the real Slim Shady.
Mentally bleach myself because I was
the real Slim Shady.
I looked at that.
Hook it up with Brittany Smart in the trailer park or whatever.
Yeah. Who was it that I was thinking of? It wasn't Eminem, although that is a good callback. But there was somebody else I was thinking of. It might have been actually fucking original day Billy Gunn, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, right when he and
Smoking Guns.
Yeah, right before he and Road Dogg formed the Outlaws.
Yeah.
He had the short hair. Or Ziggler. Ziggler is the other one. Fucking original Ziggler. God.
Yeah, with AJ Lee and Big E.
And Big E, yeah.
Team Avalanche.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No thanks.
So obviously this means that the Dome match against Kota Ibushi is now just a regular singles match. It is no longer for the ROH World Heavyweight
Championship. Now makes it more unpredictable.
Yes.
Now means Ibushi can get the win.
And I hope to God that he does.
Got to heat him up for Omega.
Yep.
It's coming.
That's going to be a fun one.
Dominion, man. I think the main event of Dominion next June is going to be Omega and Ibushi.
And I would be on board for that. Or hell, maybe they even do that as the main event of whatever big show they run. Is they're running another big show in Long Beach next year?
Yeah, it's true.
I think in April.
No, it's before Mania. It's like mid-March. It's like 2 weeks before WrestleMania.
I'm like desperately keeping my eyes out to see if they're going to run a show in New York. Because if they run a show in New York, you better believe I am getting fucking. I don't care how much I have to pay. I'm getting front row tickets to that show. I don't care.
So
I'm doing it.
All right. You got anything else for me, brother Chris? Oh,
the other big development that I don't think we talked about last week. I don't think it had happened yet. But Bullet Club did successfully obtain the Never Openweight 6-man titles from.
Oh yeah, we did not talk about this.
Yeah, they successfully won the titles from LIJ. So now added to Wrestle Kingdom is as I predicted, a gauntlet match for the Never Openweight 6-man tag titles, which is going to be interesting because one of the teams that is in that match is made up of War Machine and Michael Elgin.
Team Awkward,
as
people online have called them.
Yeah. And as I said,
all done with the company after the Dome. By the way, all three of them are done with the company.
As I said,
do not expect them to go very far in this gauntlet match, even if they didn't all hate each other. Well, Rowe and Hanson did not hate each other, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, as I said in our little group chat, I'm really hoping that Rowe and Hanson accidentally run Elgin into one of the corner posts. Accidentally.
I will tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm hoping for that, because that may jeopardize their contract with NXT, and that would be very bad for them.
True.
You're a professional.
Yeah.
You know what David Haberstam says? Being a professional means doing your job on days you don't want to do it. Be a professional.
All right, then I hope Taichi runs Elgin.
There we go. Now you hope Sabre just pops that shoulder out of the socket on a submission.
Not Sabre. We want Sabre to continue to do well, but Taichi,
it's fine.
Taichi, fucking up and fucking around.
Taichi can be unprofessional because he's garbage. Yeah, you're right.
I'm all in favor of that, or Iizuka.
Sure.
Either of them, yeah. Oh yeah, actually, Adam, yeah, thank you for that. One other thing that did happen at Final Battle that I completely forgot about. ROH is finally introduced a women's title for Women of Honor, and they are going to be having a tournament.
Yeah, Tommy's going to be there.
Yep, they're going to be having a tournament for the women's Women of Honor title. What?
Once they release a bracket, you'll have to give us a scouting report.
Well, let me see if I can pull up the preliminary field of. Well, I don't think they've released the bracket, but I think they have announced the preliminary field.
Okay, who we got?
Let me see if I can find it.
Props to Ring of Honor for having a women's championship 15 years after starting their company.
Yeah, seriously, it took them long enough. There we go.
Better late than never, I guess.
Is this that? No, that can't be it. That's not it. Here we go. 4 days ago. Update on Ring of Honors. What? Okay, apparently that's not a valid thing. That's not a thing either. I know from who's in it.
Mayu's in it. We talked about.
Yeah, Mayu's in it. I know Deonna Purrazzo, Mandy Leon, Brandy Rhodes, Faye Jackson, Karen Q, Kelly Klein, Stella Gray.
I know like half of those names.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm not. Okay. I'm ignorant when it comes to this stuff.
Here we go. Maybe this will help. Okay, here we go. Ian Riccaboni announced the news and introduced Brandy Rhodes, Deonna Purrazzo, Jenny Rose, Jesse Brooks, Kelly Klein, Mandy Leon, Stella Gray, Sume Sakai, and Mayu Iwatani as the preliminary participants. More wrestlers, including others from Stardom, will be involved in the tournament. So we don't have a full field yet. But if I were to guess, given so Karen Q actually hasn't been announced for yet. But if I were to guess right now, based on what has gone on Women of Honor programming over the past 6 months, the finals is going to be some variation of Deonna Purrazzo, Mandy Leon, and Kelly Klein. And God willing, I hope Deonna Purrazzo is the one that
I was about to say.
Like Deonna or Kelly, I would be perfectly acceptable with either of them winning. But by God, if Mandy Leon wins that fucking title,
you get Mandy Leon, man. Steal yourself.
God in heaven, I hope not.
Oh, I know.
I hope that they know. I hope they know by now.
Hey, go see Star Wars. We can talk about Star Wars next week.
That's the plan. While I'm in Pittsburgh, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, go see it because next week's kind of slow. So
no, it's not.
It's
not.
Well, what do we got?
We've got a full preview of Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh yeah,
baby!
Yeah, Dome, bitches.
Yep.
In like 2 weeks from today is the Dome. You're right.
Yes.
How about that? All right. Well, go see Star Wars. We'll talk about it in January sometime.
I channel my inner Kofi Kingston there, and I really hope I didn't wake up the entire building, but whatever.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna have our full preview of the Dome.
I cannot wait.
Be fucking prepared.
It is hype. We don't get hype. We stay hype.
The hype is real.
Got anything else, Chris? You take us out.
All right.
Plug time, right?
Yeah, plugs. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like half dead. I was like sick last night. I woke up at 2 a.m. I'm running on empty.
That's fine.
Jackson Brown are running on empty.
Mm-hmm. So what do we got? So today, I believe it officially is started. I'm not sure if AA and Prince actually started it. Let me look real quick. I don't know. I can't figure out where it is. But today was supposed to be the first episode of the Violent Wrestling Podcast featuring our friends Ambrose Alley and Prince Moxley Lopez. I don't know if they actually were able to get it done or not, but I will try to find a link for that, and we'll find a way to promote the first episode of their show if it did happen today as scheduled. If not, we will of course keep you up to date on when it does happen, and let you know when they get started and where to find them, because they're awesome people and we are they're friends of our show.
They're good people.
We want to be friends to their show.
I've podcasted with both of them, and they're both cool cats.
Yeah, so hopefully they are going to be starting up soon if they did not already, and yes, that will be publicized on our Twitter feed as soon as it is as soon as it happens.
We'll keep you all posted.
Yeah. Fridays, I don't believe that they are going to be on this week, but
not this week, no sir.
The holidays. So
no sir.
But
wait, I don't want to forget this. Friend of the show, Don Sal, finished his first semester of college, 3.86 GPA.
What a boss!
I don't think my first 2 semesters combined was that good.
I can tell you,
Sal, you're the man.
My entire college career, I didn't even break 3.3. So
yeah,
fucking
Don Sal, you're the man.
Great job.
Props to you. I know you work super hard. You're the man. Take a victory lap, my friend. You earned it.
Yeah, well done, sir. So normally on Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern, we would have Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with 14 Fitzpatrick and Don Sal Cusmano. They are off this week, as we said. But when they are back, I believe they'll be back the following week. But we'll keep you posted about that, as we always do. And then on Saturday mornings, our friends Taker's Mania and Mr. Dr. Senju have Shooting Debris. Next Saturday is the big Shooting Debris end of year show.
Featuring yours truly, and you as well, right?
Yep, featuring both of us. It will be the all 6 members of Los Ingobernables Day podcast. Joined together here. Taker's Mania, Mr. Dr. Senju, myself, George, 14 Fitzpatrick, and Don Sal Cusmano. All
it'll be like Captain Planet, or by our powers combined.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be wild times. So be ready for that. That'll be next Saturday, December 30th. But yeah, they are all still on the air this week as well. So be sure to go and check them out this week as well, because they have lots of good content. They're good friends of the show, and we are happy to support them.
They're good people too.
As always, find our friends from the Married Marks, Facelock Feministas, and Not Your Demographic. They are available through all podcasting syndication networks. I believe the Facelock Feministas actually just recorded their end-of-year show this week, and that's going to be quite the spectacle as well. So I highly recommend you check that out.
I'll have to give it a listen
as soon as it is published. You can find them on Twitter. They keep their Twitter feed much better updated than ours, and we keep ours. So definitely check that out when it drops. You can find us on iTunes. Follow the link at the bottom of the video to subscribe, give us a rating, give us a recommendation, all that good stuff. Sure to tell everybody to follow us and check us out, because we love having new listeners and new visitors. Follow us on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle. And as we said already, we'll be back next week for episode 42, the big January 4th Wrestle Kingdom 12 preview. It's going to be wild and crazy. We're going to be hyped as shit. I'll probably be drinking heavily because I have all of next week off. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh from Sunday and through Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'm going to be at home both of those days, streaming on Twitch all day long for both days, except for when I'm on the podcast on Thursday night. So you can probably guess that I'll be loaded as hell for this.
That's awesome.
Next Thursday.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to drunk podcast.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be drunk, but it'll definitely be more boisterous and buzzed than usual. That's for sure.
You have a more boisterous level?
Yes. Shockingly enough.
It goes to 11?
It goes to like 15.
Dear Christ. Love it.
Yeah, it's scary shit, man.
Love it.
Be prepared. Your teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared.
I was about to say that. You tool.
I am not. I'm just more prepared than you.
You are. I was unprepared.
Damn it. All right, and that's it. Sign us off, sir.
As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. If applicable, have a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful holiday. And we will talk to you Friday. That's Chris.
Not Friday.
Thursday. That's Chris. I'm George. This is Two Guys, One Sport. Have a wonderful Christmas/holiday. We'll talk to you in 1 week's time for the Dome Show.
Don't work yourselves into a shoot, especially on the holidays.
No.
It's the worst time to do it.
Oh, it's the third worst. Mm-hmm. Bye, guys. Thanks. Thank you. My favorite Christmas present is you guys engaging with us, and I mean that sincerely. Y'all are the greatest.
The best.
The best. You're the highlight of this show is talking to you and your comments and tweets and all that other stuff. You all kick ass. Take a bow. Take a victory lap. We will talk to you 1 week's time for the big Tokyo Dome preview. Good night, everybody.
Episode 41 is in the books.